Hey artists, it's Mrs. Alseri here. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make this optical illusion by just tracing your hands. So something that's really important in this drawing, if we look closely, the lines on the hands are curved and the lines in the background are straight. And I used two different colored markers after drawing it out with pencil. So what happens is it creates an optical illusion that plays tricks on your eyes. Since my hand has curves, I use these contour lines to follow the shape and give volume to my fingers. And then it contrasts and stands out from the background made up of straight lines. So if you really want this to look realistic, a ruler might be a good idea, and a pencil, eraser, and some markers. All right, I have my supplies here, and I'm ready to get started. So the first thing you're going to do is trace your hand. So I'm going to do this real quick. And if you want, you can show a little bit of your wrist. I apologize, it's a very close-up shot of my hand. But I'm just gonna do this quick. Try not to move my fingers. Make sure they fit on my page all the way. So if I need to squeeze my thumb in a little bit, I can. And don't forget to go all the way to the bottom of the paper. That's important. Okay, so I have my hand here. The next thing I'm going to do is start on a finger or a thumb and make your curvy lines. Kind of reaching all the way from one end to the other. And I'm gonna make it look like rings. Like if I was wearing 4 or 5 rings on one finger, it would look kind of strange. All the way up to the tip. If I want to get really detailed, I can go back in between, but that'll take a really long time. So if you just want to make them a little wider apart, you can. It won't take as long. Again, starting at the tip, remembering to curve those lines. They don't have to be perfect. Mine get a little bit lopsided. No one will be able to notice after we color. And again, that's about the right amount of space, but if you really want, you can go back in and make it even more filled in. And you're just gonna keep going. You do each of the fingers first. Remembering to keep curving. Sometimes I get lazy and I start to straighten out, but remind yourself to curve. And once you finish the fingers, for the hand, you're gonna reach all the way from one side to the other, also bending like a rainbow, trying to keep the same amount of space in between each line that you did in your fingers. So for mine, I might want to go back and squeeze some more lines in so it looks even. The more you do it, you get the hang of it too. So, and even as I go down my hand, still curving all the way across. Once you do it a few times, you get into a rhythm, and you can go all the way down to the wrist like that, okay? So that's the first part. So I'm gonna go back in and fix up some of my lines in between and make it even. But first, I just wanna show you how to do the background. So I'm gonna hold mine sideways and start at the bottom. This is where a ruler comes in handy. So I'm gonna get mine gonna try to extend these curvy lines that I made. Extend them to the edges of my paper. I'm running out of room over here, but I'll try it. There we go. So I'll just do a couple for you. So what I'm doing is taking those curvy contour lines and I'm straightening them out in the background. That's what's gonna play a trick on people's eyes. And it looks harder than it really is. And if this is taking you too long, you don't have to make it match up. You can just draw some straight lines in your background, but this is the right way to do it to really get that illusion. Depends on how much patience you feel like having for your art today. Maybe you want to come back to it at a later time and finish it up tomorrow. Oops. I have to bend my ruler. I have a tiny little space here, so I'm just gonna keep going. Let's turn it this way so you can kind of see my lines extending. And I'm gonna work on this part a little bit more, and you just keep going, and I'll come back and I'll show you how to do in between the fingers. Okay, so I finished my lines in the background by the hand part, where before the knuckles and the fingers go. So what you're gonna do when you have fingers to go in between, still using your ruler, you can continue if you're lining it up with the ones on the hand, you can. And then you're gonna skip over the finger, skip over the hand, and do the background. So every time I go to the next line, lift my ruler a little bit, there, there. There. And you're just gonna keep doing that until you get through all the fingers. And like I said before, the farther you make these lines away from each other, the quicker this is gonna go. Because if they're really tight and there's not a lot of room in between, you're gonna have a hard time. So you're gonna keep going and keep filling up, skipping the fingers. When you get up to here, it's gonna get really easy, because then you can just take your ruler and draw lines going across, filling up the rest. And then the last part is to pick two colors, trace over your background with one line color, trace over the lines on the hand with the second color. You do not trace the outline of the hand, or it will mess with your illusion. All right, that's it for me, guys. I hope you have fun with this.